Now picture this under a canopy of golden chandeliers, each crystal drop catching and splintering the warm light. The marble floor of a New York ballroom gleams like it's been waiting for a headline moment. A live band hums from the corner, bass notes steady like a pulse while the trumpet unfurls lazy ribbons of sound into the air. The air smells faintly of champagne and expensive perfume, conversations rolling like gentle surf until one man decides to turn it into a storm. That man, Damien Cross, moves through the room like he owns the city, mid-40s, silver and black hair, so precisely combed it might have its own security detail. People lean in when he speaks, not because they love him, but because they know something outrageous is coming and they don't want to miss the train wreck. Janelle Carter is just passing with a tray of champagne flutes when he taps his glass, the chime cutting through the chatter sharper than a sushi chef's knife. Eyes turn. The band fades, and Damien smiles like he's about to donate to charity, but secretly plans to hand out Monopoly money. He gestures toward a tall man in sleek black by the band his champion dancer, and with the casual cruelty of someone who's never been told no, he nods at Janelle. If she can outdance his champion, he declares he'll marry her on the spot. The words hit the room like a dropped crystal, some laugh, some gasp, and a few exchanged glances that say, did he really just do that? The thing is, historians still argue whether moments like this are born out of boredom or a deep need to remind everyone who's in charge. Janelle just feels the heat of being turned into the evening sport. Refuse, and she'll be the girl who couldn't take a joke. Accept, and she risks stumbling in front of the elite like a gazelle on roller skates. She moves away, calm on the surface, but inside something shifts, a tide turning quietly. No one in this glitter-saturated room knows that years ago, before she was juggling 2 jobs to keep her sister Maya's dreams alive, Janelle was a competitive dancer, the kind who could make a polished floor feel like a stage meant only for her. That part of her life has been boxed up for years, like the worn dance shoes in the back of her closet, but now, as Damien's laughter lingers, she can feel them calling her name again. Back in Harlem, Janelle's world is a 1-bedroom apartment she shares with Maya, who's got that bright-eyed way of looking at the world like it hasn't learned all its sharp edges yet. The couch is thrift store soft and doubles as Janelle's bed, the kitchen barely big enough for 2 people to stand without touching elbows, and the walls were family photos like badges, most of them showing their mother's smile. A smile that vanished 3 years ago when illness swept in like a thief in the night. Their dad had been gone much longer, a jazz saxophonist whose notes were cut short by a car crash. By default, Janelle became the grown-up, the provider, the one who stood between Maya and a life that could have shrunk her dreams down to nothing. Her days run on 2 tracks. Mornings at the flower shop were misses. Lee swears Janelle's hands can coax a lily into telling a love story, and evenings serving at events where the table settings cost more than her monthly rent. 2 jobs mean her legs ache so deep she sometimes stands in the shower just to keep from collapsing into sleep, but she's not letting Maya take a job. No, Maya's job is school, and Janelle's is keeping the roof steady. And tonight's shift? The tips will finally pay for Maya's spot at an elite STEM summer program, a ticket to bigger horizons. Which is why Damien's challenge cuts deeper than a crowd sees. It's not just a dare, it's the risk of losing the night's income, the program, and the fragile scaffolding she's been building for years. She moves through the gala crowd, balancing her tray like an extension of her own arm, catching bits of venom dressed up as cocktail chatter. The help should stick to serving, not samba, and letting it slide off her face even as it burns down her spine. Near the band, the champion dancer stretches like a man rehearsing a win, giving her a smirk that says he's already counted his victory. Somewhere between the sting of a stranger's words, people like her don't belong on this floor, and the memory of her grandmother's voice reminding her that her light is hers alone, she stops pretending she didn't hear. She sets the tray down, stands taller, and meets Damien's eyes across the room. "You want to dance?" she says, steady as a metronome. "Let's dance." The crowd reacts like they just saw a cat square up to a Rottweiler. But there's a shift, phones come up, the band leans in, and for the first time that night, Damien's smirk flickers. Historians still argue whether it was confidence or curiosity that made him signal the band to play. But whatever it was, it set the stage for a storm. The first notes of Latin jazz curl through the air, warm and alive, and Janelle steps onto the marble like she's slipping back into a language she hasn't spoken in years, but never truly forgot. No grand entrance, no showy footwork, just small, precise steps that test the rhythm, her body loosening into the beat the way a pianist warms their fingers on the keys. Across from her, the champion sizes her up, expecting hesitance, maybe a stumble, but instead he catches something in her eyes that makes him pull his shoulders back and focus. The crowd, sensing the unexpected, leans in. He tries to dominate early wide spins, bold extensions, the kind of moves meant to make the other dancer shrink. But she doesn't. She flows around him like water against stone, matching his timing, then slipping half a beat ahead, stealing the floor without ever pushing. It's the difference between performance and conversation. His style is about being seen. Hers is about being felt. Phones that were lifted to capture her failure now film with genuine awe, and somewhere in the crowd, a sequined woman whispers, she knows what she's doing. Damien's posture shifts, his elbows on his knees, smirk on. The champion starts missing his spotting, breath coming faster than the music warrants. And Janelle sees it a lover compensation, a darted glance toward Damien like he's looking for rescue. She circles him once, hair brushing his shoulder as she slides into a daring underarm turn. And when their eyes lock, it's not challenge she's giving him, it's certainty. The dip comes sudden, smooth, like gravity just decided to take the night off for her. 3 steady heartbeats, then she rises, unbroken. The room erupts. Damien claps slowly, trying to make it seem like this was always his game, but the tightness in his jaw betrays him. A man in the back shouts, she owned the floor, and the cheer that follows cuts through the champagne glass politeness. He offers her opportunity, a sponsorship, the works, but she meets his eyes and says, on my terms. I choose the path, not you. The applause is warmer now, richer, like the crowd understands a victory isn't just the dancey, it's that she refused to let anyone else write her ending. A week later, the glitter of that night is just a ghost. Sunlight spills through her Harlem window. Maya's laughter drifts from the kitchen with the scent of their grandmother's gumbo, and a paid-in full stem camp form is pinned to the fridge. The video of her spins is still circling online, but her favorite image is the still frame where her chin is lifted, eyes level, shoulders square, the exact moment she decided. She knows the next challenge will come, and when it does, she'll meet it the same way, feet grounded, heart steady, music in her bones. Some people think power is the size of the room, the weight of your name, the number of eyes on you, but sometimes it's just one choice, made in the quiet before the spotlight hits. She turns back inside, gumbo simmering, music swelling, the city humming below, and the night folds itself into her memory, not as the evening a billionaire tried to make her small, but as the one she proved her light was hers alone to dim.